Good morning, student. I am Ankur Saxena, your subject teacher, and we are reading this chapter, A Gift of Chappal, and first part reading has been completed. Now we starting second part. Mridu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awake wildly, holding her violin and bowstring, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ear, around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from the beneath his gold-bordered bastirade, and he was beating time on the floor with the screwing big toe. He played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible track of the melody. It was like the wheels of train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. As Ravi said, Mradu stared at the huge bringed hand moving effortlessly up the violin's stem, making lovely music. Squack! There was a lolly dearling again. Amma came a wailing wail from the gate. Amma, oh, Rabi, sent the beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Tapi. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it is time he found another house to beg from. Pati explained to Tapi. Mradu and Meena followed Rabi out. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the arms to appear. Go away, said Ravi Stanley. My Pati says it is time you found another house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last, in a voice choked with feeling, are very kind soul. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I can't believe that they would turn me away. He raised his voice. Amma, Amma, oh, said his well, might be, but it certainly was not feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered valley and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. Ravi, tell him there is nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukumani, and he is not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Ravi did not have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There, under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. I shall go, he said weirdly. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is not so hot, and the tar has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. He stretched out his feet to show large, pink, peeling blistered on the soles of his bare feet. I suppose he does not have the money to buy chappals. Mridu whispered to Meena Ravi. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I did have given them to him, and his feet were larger than Mridu and Meena's. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. He needed something on his feet. Meena said, her big eyes spilling. It is not fair. Sir, said Ravi, I am thinking about it, blubbering. It is not fair. It is not fair. It is not going to help. In 2 minutes, he shall, he will be frying his feet on that road. What he need in a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Mradu and Meena into the house. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Mridu eyes fell on the odd-looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him, whose are those? Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby-looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. These are just the right size, he said. Picking them up, Mradu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. Here, said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slipper in front of the old man. Wear these and don't come back. The beggar stared at the slippers, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left, muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street. The music master came out of the house and took an unapprehensive look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree, playing marbles. बेटा ये अनएप्रिसिएटिव है, एक बार थोड़ा हो गया था बबल. अनएप्रिसिएटिव, playing marble. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. Lali, he called after a few moments. She hurried up to him. Have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. Ravi, Mridu and Meena silently watched Lali and the music master search every corner of the veranda. He scurried around looking over the railing and crunching near the flower pot to look between them. Brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. He went on saying they cost a whole month's fee. Do you know? Soon Lali went into tell her mother. Rukumani appeared looking harsh with Pati following her. Where could they be? It is really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors came to the door, worried Pati. Rukumani caught sight of Ravi, Mradu, and Meena sitting under the tree. Have you children? She began, and then seeing they were curiosity से बना है ये. Curiously, quiet went on more slowly. Seen anyone lurking around the veranda? A sharp V-shaped line has formed between her eyebrow. Another straight, tighter one appeared in place of her unusually soft, pleasant mouth. Rukumani was angry, thought Mridu with a shiver. She would not be so upset if she knew about the door. Beggar with sorry source ऑन हिज फीट, कोर्स माने होते हैं छाले। शी ट्राइड टू टेल हर सेल्फ। ओके, यहीं तक देखते हैं, अब ग्रामर देखेंगे।